In this video, we are going to create a blend space, and what that does is controls how we blend from the walk animation to the run animation, and that's going to be controlled later by the speed of the character. So I want it to blend smoothly from that walk to the run, and from standing still as well. So we're going to do all this in the Blip anims folder since it's part of the animation setup. And what we're going to do is right click in some empty space here, and we're going to go, we've done most of the things from up here, but there is an animation section in the menu there. And we're looking in that animation menu to create a blend space. There it is. Now there is an older version. If we go to Legacy, there's something called the blend space 1D, where you could also do this, but we're going to use the blend space now because the 1D is kind of slowly being retired, I think. So let's go for a blend space. And we just need to make sure that we're applying this to the Blip mesh skeleton. And I'm going to call this one Blip _ BS, with the BS denoting blend space. And let's open that up. Okay, so we've got a few different parts of the interface here. Down here we've got a graph that we can use to control where and when these animations play. Now we're going to do quite a simple version, but you can do quite complicated things here, include things like strafing, which we don't need for this exercise, but it's possible. Okay, so you've got two axes. You've got your y-axis that goes up and down, and your x-axis that goes across the bottom. We're just going to use the y-axis or the vertical axis. And what I want to do first of all is just rename that so we know what it is. So it's currently called none. I don't like that. So we've got the vertical axis here. So under the axis settings on the left hand side, vertical axis, and I'm just going to rename this to speed. And you see that's now been renamed down there. So we know that when the speed increases, it's going to change between the different animations. And we're also going to set the maximum value of this axis to 500, which I believe is the default max speed of the character. So now we've got a 0 at the bottom and 500 at the top, just there. Now what we want to do is when our character is at 0, which is at the bottom, we want him to idle. So we're going to just find our idle animation, which is here, and you can drag this in, and you can see you get a little grey dot. And what we want is this to be at the bottom center. So what I'm going to do is just hold shift, and this will now snap to different parts. And I'm just going to pop it there. So now whenever the character speed is at 0, he's going to stand still. That's what we want. Next, we need to get him to a walk. So at about 25% speed here, what I'm going to do is get the walk. So I'm going to drag this in, and again I'll hold shift and it'll snap. So when his speed gets to about 125, he's going to transition from standing still to a walk. And we can preview this. So if you now just hold your control key and you move your mouse between these two values, you don't have to click anything, just move it. So if I put my mouse at 0, he's standing still. And as I slowly move that up, he transitions into the walk. Pretty nifty, right? Okay, so the final thing that we need is the run. And I do want him to transition to the run before he gets to max speed. So I'm actually going to add that at 50%. So I'm going to hold shift and snap that there. And now if I hold control again, it will transition from the walk to the run. And then anything above that, he'll still be running. So you can see now we've got him smoothly transitioning from one animation to the next. And that is it for a blend space. All we've done is told Unreal Engine how we want to handle moving between these three different animation states. And it's going to be based on the speed later when we set up the animation blueprint. So quite a short video really, but important that we get it right. So we're now going to save this asset. We can close it, make sure everything else is saved. Yeah, and I think we can call it for this step. So in the next step, we're going to create the animation blueprint, which really controls which animations play and when. So I'll see you in the next step for that. Thanks for watching and supporting the channel. If you'd like to help me create more content like this, please consider becoming a patron on Patreon. The contributions I get through Patreon make a huge difference in keeping this channel going. Remember to like, comment and subscribe to make sure you don't miss my upcoming tutorials. Your support and engagement mean the world to me and help my channel continue to grow. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.